To save energy in the depths, they shut down their non-critical organs, and that includes the ability to defecate. This is one of the only ways that nutrients locked in the world below are returned to life near the top. In the expanse of the open ocean, their most stable reference points are each other. Here off the coast of Sri Lanka, they gather in numbers. Superpods, some of the largest seen anywhere in the oceans. Diving down to over 2 kilometers, they grapple with giant squid in the depths. These are hungry hunters. Each one of them can eat around a ton of food per day. It's thought that they can stun their prey by producing some of the loudest sounds of any living creature. But their life in the world below, where the pressure would crush a human, has never been filmed and remains a mystery. Somehow, the rich waters of Sri Lanka can satisfy the appetites of so many visiting giants. Circling this island is an ocean like no other, all thanks to a unique combination of natural and geological quirks. At the tip of India, Sri Lanka is the southernmost point of a huge tapering continental landmass. The island has a mountainous heart, bound by a ring of fertile coastal plains. Rivers litter the land, and together with strange weather patterns, these are the perfect ingredients for an underwater paradise. To the east, west, and south, the ocean stretches unbroken for thousands of miles. It's not just whales. Schools of fish and huge flocks of seabirds cross thousands of miles of ocean to reach these shores. For some drifters, Sri Lanka is the first sight of land for years, possibly decades. A green turtle. She is one of 5 species of sea turtle that are born on these shores. The moment she's waited 20 years for is near. She spent the years riding the currents of the deep ocean. Now she must gain strength. So she's returned to the sun-drenched shallows, more fruitful than the open water. Grazing on seagrass and weeds, whipped up by the waves. Our science has no idea how, But she knows exactly the beach to which she must return. The beach she was born on. And on which she will lay her eggs. The secret to Sri Lanka's fertile waters actually lies 100 miles away. It's a story that begins on the highest peaks. Sri Lanka is a land powered by rain. Warm monsoon winds sweep down from the Bay of Bengal, bringing moisture from far at sea. As they hit the central highlands, they rise, they cool, and the northeast monsoon begins. It's weeks since a single drop of rain fell. But when the monsoon clouds finally burst, the highlands are inundated. Meters of rainfall in just a few months. Giving birth to 105 major rivers, a staggering number considering the island's small size. It's these rivers that are key to the rich seas surrounding Sri Lanka. Starting life in mysterious high-altitude cloud forests. Leaves and debris are washed down the mountains. They work their way through impenetrable jungles. Collecting sediment and nutrients from the earth. En route, they water vast plantations of green gold, famous Ceylon tea. Across the vast plains that circle the island, where great wild herds are sustained by the life-giving water. And in turn, they add their waste to the rich mix of nutrients. They finally mix with the sea in brackish swamps, the mangroves. A transitional no man's land between the sea and the coast. Their leaves have special glands which secrete salt crystals, allowing the trees to cope with the water from the encroaching tides. Rising out of the waterlogged swamp floor, roots reach from the earth like dead men's fingers. Below the surface, mangroves are vital nurseries for young fish, the roots providing protection from predators. But with so much competition, one mangrove specialist has developed an extraordinary way of getting a bite to eat. It begins with his dual-action eyes. The bottom part of his eye is used for living down in the murky brown water. But on top, his eyes are suited for spying into the world above. He presses his tongue down against a groove at the bottom of his mouth, forming a gun barrel. And he fires. He misses. He doubles back and lines up again. For a young archerfish, it can take a few attempts to get his prey. He has to learn to judge distortions and reflections in the water. Amazingly, the archer can produce a watery arrow that is up to 6 times stronger than his muscle power. Dawn, on the edges of the mangroves. The island's most ostentatious seasonal visitor has arrived. Greater flamingos, named for the flashes of flame-like pink on their wings. They follow the receding tide further out into the lagoon. The water must be just the right depth. Wiggling their legs, they stir up the mud. Dipping their bills, they sift out shrimp and algae, which thrive in the river mouth. Males squabble and jostle for position in the group. They can grow large on this rich soup, with the biggest males reaching nearly 1.5 meters in height. They say you are what you eat, and it is the carotene pigment from the crustaceans and algae that gives their plumage its distinctive pink. Minerals and organic matter from hundreds of rivers and streams nourish coastal communities. Sri Lanka's high rates of freshwater discharge causes a riot at sea. Fleets of fishing boats take to the waves. Endless schools of